So let's talk about Destiny. So if you don't know who Destiny is a political content streamer who is technically on the left. He's very much a liberal content creator. He's more of a debater within the online political space. And he has a lot of issues. The latest one being that he has CSAM on his computer, which he admitted to a friend cohort of his within the online political space. Now, Destiny has always been known to be a creep, and we will get into that, by the way, because it's not like the writing wasn't on the walls that this guy potentially had CSAM in his computer or on one of his devices. He's always been very weird about underage girls, but we'll get into that. But this latest round of stuff coming out about Destiny, it really started with his own son, I believe, mentioning a female who went by the name of Rose, who Destiny was in contact with. His son, by the way, is on Twitter and is like a literal Nazi. But he hates his dad because Destiny is like a deadbeat dad, I guess. But this really went into like full effect to the point that even longtime collaborators with Destiny within his like cult-like fan base have now begun to turn on him, or just people who kind of align themselves with Destiny, maybe not even inherently so, but were very much obviously still aligned with Destiny on a lot of things. They didn't even start turning on him until this video by Willie Mac Show. Now, Willie Mac Show is by no means a great person by any chance. He makes most of his content around drama, and so far, he has really, in the last few months, has really been centering more on like the anti-Israel, pro-Palestine content creators, the people who are like in a whole thing on the internet where it's just like going after people like Hassan, going after people like iDubbbz, just all this shit. Like, he's very much aligned himself with like the Zionist. For some reason, this guy was like, oh, I'm going to essentially delve into politics by going after like these content creators. Like, look at the last few videos that he made. He has Hassan here, Bad and Banada, iDubbbz, Hassan. Like, he very much has set himself up in that part of the internet. And I mean, it's getting him a couple views, not that much. But he's mostly just a drama guy. He just attaches himself to drama, covers it a bit, and then moves on. But then we have this video where he talks about reporting Destiny to the police.
I reported Destiny to the police. This is not clickbait and entirely has to do with the DMs he sent me. A few days ago, a Reddit post showed that the girl Destiny shared Pixie's nudes with was seemingly confirmed to be 17 years old due to her getting doxxed. There is almost a 0% chance that she was not 17 during that time. So I do what I usually do and reached out to get a comment. He said the girl, Rose, told him she was 19 and in college at the time, and that the leaker Solo, who is her ex-boyfriend, confirmed that she lied about her age to him. This is true. In similar scandals, this is where people usually argue, is he lying? Did he actually know the age? Is it his fault if he was catfish? I usually wait for all the details to come out before I comment. This is not why I went to
I mean, this guy, again, we're gonna get into like more like Willie Mac and the people who like surrounded themselves with like Destiny, who like attached themselves to him. But like at the end of the day, I am glad that this guy did what he did. We'll get more into that, but like these people are still pieces of shit who attached themselves to a guy who had all the signs that he was a fucking weirdo from the get-go and was a Zionist, which is also funny because now he's trying to portray himself as like pro-Palestine.
To the police. It's because he continued to write, I didn't know this until way later, but the videos she recorded with other guys, the file names are like screen recording, blah blah blah. And then he shows me a screenshot of the top of a video clip and says, her boyfriend was recording these on Skype calls. That's absolutely insane to think about him doing all of this if she was 17. Well, this is insane to me because he's saying Rose's boyfriend recorded CP while sending me a screenshot of the alleged CP. So I asked to confirm if he just did that. If you were sending me this, I'm guessing you still have that video. Destiny replies, depends on why you're asking. asking. But yes, I created copies of all of our messages and everything when that court case started. Just to be clear, he's admitting to having alleged CP downloaded on his computer. He literally has the video open as I'm talking to him. I go, bruh, there's been allegations at least since my last video that she was underage, and you still have potential CP of her? He replies, I have an obligation to preserve relevant evidence, etc. So I created backups of all of the important/relevant conversations. He continues, I don't think I'm
He also brings up Pixie, who is a woman who literally went after him for revenge porn, because before this, back in like November, I believe, of last year, Destiny was outed by Pixie for sharing footage, like for sharing videos of sex that he had with other people, that he recorded both consensually and non-consensually. Like sometimes they would allow him to record, other times they didn't know they were being recorded. And he would, regardless of if they allowed him to record or not, he still shared it without their consent. And by the way, this was back in November. This was back during the time where Willie Mack decided to attach himself to attacking pro-Palestine creators with people like Destiny, Dan Saltman, and Ethan Klein.
Allowed to delete it, lol. I don't know if it counts as hiding/destroying evidence. And I reply, talk to a lawyer, that seems crazy to me. Who keeps this sort of stuff on their computer without 100% knowing if they're supposed to or not? Isn't that something you want to confirm? I continued, you just let me know you have CP videos saved to your computer. You knew it was alleged that she was underage. You still have them. Do you see how this is? So now I've confirmed that this guy has child porn on his computer. In my 8 years of reaching out to people over allegations, I've never had anyone admit that to me. The last message he sent me was, 1, I don't even know 100% of her age was legitimately less than 18 when these were taken. So basically, he's not 100% sure if he has child porn on his computer. He's just 99% sure. Got it. 2, I'm pretty sure I have an obligation to preserve stuff related to my court case. I've talked about it with my lawyer already, specifically.
That's not really your obligation. It's more or less your lawyer's obligation. Like, your lawyer is the one who's supposed to have that stuff, not you.
With regards to the Rose stuff. So we went from, I don't know if I could delete this, to my lawyer says it's totally fine to keep. I don't know the law, but the idea that his lawyer would tell him to hold on to CP for a civil case just doesn't seem likely to me. I don't know. LawTube can figure that out. 3, if something were to come out of this, I don't know if I'd want to wipe everything and not have something to turn over to the authorities. If hypothetically, whenever a political creator is about to give a hypothetical, you know you're about to hear some weird shit. If hypothetically her boyfriend or whatever was actually trafficking her or getting her to fuck other dudes on video for him, and if there was ever some kind of investigation into that, am I hurting the chance of...
Well, potentially there could be a case where this stuff is relevant and helpful. So that means I have to keep the CSAM on my computer. It's just so fucked up.
Deleting all of this stuff? Oh, so now the reason he's keeping the CP is because of a hypothetical criminal case that he is not pursuing at all. Okay.
Yeah, like, if you think that this could be the case, why aren't you pursuing that? Like, if you think that, like, her boyfriend behind all this is trafficking her and, like, recording all this shit, why aren't you pursuing that and be like, hey, I literally have like evidence that this is the case? It's just an excuse of being like, think about it this way, like if a random predator were to like get CSAM, like say it was discovered that some dude like downloaded a bunch of like CSAM off the internet and he tried to use the defense in court that he was just holding on to that because he wanted to go after the people who made it. Do you think that would be like a very eligible defense? Like, you still had the CSAM on your computer and there was no sign of intention that you were going to go after the guy responsible for it. You just had it as like, it's like, well, what if it does happen? It's like, then do it. It's such a bad excuse for having CSAM on your computer.
Maybe these reasons are legally sound advice that came from his lawyer. Maybe he's lying and just saying anything to make it sound
There's no way. There's really no way. There's no way that can't... Here's the thing, maybe it did. Maybe there are some stupid lawyers out there. I mean, look at the one who represented Alex Jones during his court case. He sent like all the evidence that could be used against him to the defense. Or to, what was it? No, it was a prosecute, whatever. But like, to like the other side. So who knows, maybe, I don't know. But like, it's very clear that he's very inconsistent within these chat messages that, yeah, he definitely did not contact a lawyer.
better to me. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I just know this guy's admitting to having CP in my DMs, 60 gigabytes according to him. Seriously,
Jesus
how does he
Christ.
know the amount if he doesn't have it? Also, how does her boyfriend being in the wrong somehow make Destiny in the right? It makes no sense. For all he knows, her boyfriend could have been 17 as well. Dude, you were 33. I reported this to the police and recorded my interactions and calls with the detective.
William, how you doing? It's Officer again.
Hello, nice to speak with you again.
I have a question.
Sure.
You had screenshots or copies of the
Yes.
when you guys spoke about having child porn and all that?
Yep. I also sent him my DMs with Destiny. I don't know if anything will come from this. I don't like leaking DMs, as me respecting what creators want on and off the record allows me to talk to all sides of the situation, builds trust with the creator, and also allows me to get follow-up statements for when the drama develops. But when you tell me that you're in possession of and going to remain in possession of CP, that confidentiality is over. I shouldn't even need to say that. If Destiny ends up being...
Like, what he is doing here is good. But at the end of the day, Billy Mack is still... He calls himself a journal, or he says that he's doing journalism with this. Maybe he should have done journalism and looking at all of the previous times that Destiny has said like weird shit regarding minors, or maybe having not like really associated with himself so much with like the revenge porn stuff. And we'll get more into like Destiny collaborators who are like speaking on this, because a lot of them are jumping shit, because I feel like with this, it's clear as day that you can't defend them on this shit. And some of them are still being fucking weird about it. And we'll get with that with Ethan Klein of all people. But yeah, to basically break down what this situation was, because like this came out before this video was made. This was just like a big bomb that dropped within this controversy. But streamer Destiny has been accused of sexting and sharing pornographic material with a 17-year-old girl. Twitter users, including his own son, Nathan Bonarelli.
Please stop displaying your imbecility.
Okay, I'm sorry if you think the declaration of the judge is imbecile.
Don't put on public display that you're a moron.
Display on camera if you're comfortable putting yours in books, okay?
So, like, Destiny, he made a tweet that says, "That's fucking disgusting. Ukraine has children working in their missile factories now. Since when did you care about children except for Rose, a lol?" For those wonder how the information about Destiny's underage sexting partner was found today, look no further than omni-liberal himself, Destiny. In May, he decided to taunt Kiwi Farms thread openly while providing additional private information to them. It's funny because they think I'm hiding stuff about Rose since she's underage. The only reason I haven't actually mentioned much about her is because I know it makes those R words stick harder. It has been 100% confirmed that Rose was 17 at the time that the streamer was exchanging pornographic material with her, anything sent prior to October 2022, placing him in direct violation of numerous state and federal statutes. Yeah, it gets really fucking weird. But again, this is not the first case in which Destiny has been weird about a minor. This is kind of like a thread from Bad Empanada, but it's really just 2 clips. But yeah, it's not looking great for him in terms of like him having a history of being weird about minors.
So what is the admitting to jerking off to 15-year-olds then? What is that in relation to?
I never admitted to jerking off. I think I just said like this. I think the log is something like this 15-year-old chick was trying to send me, or was sending me pictures of herself, and she was hot as fuck. It's like really hard to like turn down some of these people. I think.
Wait, how old was she?
She said she was 15.
Yeah. Like, even though he's saying like, oh, I never like accepted, you know, any of this stuff from minors, it's really hard to turn it down. Like, no, it should be extremely easy. It should be extremely easy to turn it down. He attacks me just so he can maintain plausible deniability while he goes after his son, but I respect my Australian warlord. Bro, you literally said in the clip she's 15. What the fuck? Have you seen the 15-year-olds they're putting out today, though? Like, even if this is a joke, it's still a fucking gross one. Like, a lot of people try to use dark humor as an excuse for just being insanely fucking gross. Like, there's a way that you can do dark humor successfully. Like, for example, Anthony Jeselnik. His jokes are very dark, very, you know, edgy. But he does it within an act of, like, portraying himself as, like, the smug asshole sort of guy. Like, he puts on a character and then tells those jokes for like shock value, and he does it very well. One of my favorite comedians of all time. Destiny is a political streamer who makes those sort of jokes because he's just an edgelord. And even then, sometimes they're not jokes. They're not. Like, this is a guy who has literally tried to debate in favor for ethical CP, by the way. Like, no joke. This is something that, like, him and his fan base have tried to debate on. Of being like, no, there's a way that you could make ethical CP. It's so fucking stupid.
If you just because you molest a child doesn't
I
make you a
don't disagree
pedophile.
with
That's
her.
not.
Yes, it does.
Like, you can't really hear him that well, but he literally is saying just because you molest a child doesn't make you a pedophile. Like, again, maybe he's just doing that as like a joke or to rile these people up. It's still fucking gross to say. Now, because of this, a lot of people within Destiny's sphere of influence are now kind of like jumping ship. However, there are definitely some stragglers who are, you know, holding on to the boat and are trying to make this about Hassan for some reason. So here we see Hutch quote retweeting a comment that he got. They got your boy molesting me on CSAM charges, you goofy fuck. If the standard here is that you parasocial cycles are still going to do a pathetic guilt by association charge many months after I stopped associating with Destiny, but we do have some news for you. So he tries to bring up like the LOL overruled whole situation. It's just like, oh, because he's Hassan's friend, he's guilty by association, even though Hassan spoke against him. Here's the problem with Hutch, though. Even though he says that he stopped associating with Destiny months ago, what a liar. He was still sweeping for Destiny like 2 weeks ago, saying he regretted speaking up for the victims back in January.
I've been thinking about the Destiny situation a little bit more, guys. I've been thinking about that situation a little bit more. I don't regret distancing myself from something that was very radioactive. Like, every creator has to consider their own reputation and their own, like, brand. That's not a moral calculation. It's just, that's like a necessary calculation that every creator has to make. What I do think I regret was, like, talking about it in detail. I think looking back, I wish I would have just put that space and just not talked about it.
Like, this is a man who's literally saying, I wish I never spoke about this political content creator on this platform being a sex pest. Like, speaking of, like, bringing more light to this whole situation. Like, that's essentially what he's saying. And what he is essentially doing here is getting back into Destiny's fan base good graces by trying to be like, man, I kind of wish I didn't talk about this really creepy shit that he did. It's gross as shit. But yeah, he tries to like say here, it's like, oh, I stopped associating with him months ago. Doesn't matter. You still run in the same circles with him. And we also see that with Drew Pavlov now too. He's really been weird with that. Drew Pavlov, who's like he's insanely fucking weird. Like, he is a full-on Twitter person where he's just non-stop. It's just like spreading like what it says here, anti-communist liberalism. He's literally just a quote-unquote liberal who just spends all of his time fucking arguing with leftists on Twitter, and I think might be going to jail. He's a weird fucking guy. Fuck yes, just finished the best pro Destiny edit. This one has both of us dancing next to Malcolm X. I'm a pedophile. N-word. And I'm not sure if you can see Drew, but he's not black. So Shonda Black quote retweeted this, saying, what's up with liberals dropping the N-word in 2025? We need to bring back 2015 level cancellations and solve this problem right up. It's just so fucking weird. And like, another thing about Drew Pavlov is, just like Destiny, he's like a very big, you know, pro-Israel. He's a big Zionist. Again, just so fucking weird. A lot of like the weirdest people you will see surrounding themselves with Destiny, including Ethan Klein, who had the weirdest fucking response to this. Now, after the whole, you know, CSAM stuff came out about Destiny, Ethan was very quick to distance himself from it, being like, this guy, what he did was creepy. I'm against it. And it kind of set up this little like civil war now between Destiny and Ethan, because a lot of Destiny's community has very much gone into the H3H3 community now. So we have a tweet here from Destiny. Me, after smashing the post button on my last IG story, I don't post on X directly because it's too toxic, so I limit myself to 25 stories a day about Twitter posts. And then stumbling into some free snacks for my kids, and the photo that he attached to it is a man stepping in shit because of the whole thing where people believe that Ethan's kids got sick because they ate their dog's poop, because Ethan's dogs are quite famous for just shitting on the floor, because Ethan has openly talked about how they do it all the time. And there was like one instance where everyone in his family got giardia, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is like a disease that you get from eating feces. So in response to this, Ethan responds to this the way: Steven, you are a very smart and funny guy. I've been following your career for a long time. Since you were cleaning carpets in between StarCraft 2 games, I saw you transition to streaming full time, which as someone who was working a 9 to 5, I found really inspiring. It was soon after I took the same chance on myself, inspired in part by you, to become a full-time creator. Later on, I came around to your political streaming content, a genre you pioneered. You had such a long and accomplished career that anyone would be extremely proud of. I am genuinely sad about the great potential that you had, and for what was thrown away because vices took over your life. Oh my god. As a parent, you know the implications and ramifications of chatting with a 15-year-old. You know how a teenager looks up to adults they admire and how easily they can be manipulated. The time for irrelevant jokes is over. You need help. This is a long pattern of sexual deviancy with teenagers. I hope you take the time to understand what inside you is missing and why that would urge a grown man to flirt with a 15-year-old. I am not taking pleasure, and any of this is all very sad. I do hope you find the help and peace you need, because children deserve better. This is his fucking response to a guy who admitted to having CSAM on his device, and it is nothing like the way that he talks to people who only say that Palestinians are human. He treats people like pro-Palestine content creators, or just pro-Palestine people in general, like shit. He calls Jewish people who are pro-Palestine tokens. He says all this shit. But when a guy is like discovered to have a CSAM on his computer, to being a pedo, this is Ethan's response to it. It's more of a love letter than anything. It's more like, dude, you inspired me so much. Which, by the way, Ethan has openly said that he was not even aware of Destiny before Hassan brought him up. So now he's trying to credit Destiny for like why he became a content creator. So like he can't even keep his story straight. And it's just so fucking weird. And like we also have like a bit of a comparison here, because this right here is a screenshot of a former fan who's just trying to critique Ethan for the way that he has been talking about Hassan and many others. And he literally starts it out by saying, "Wrong, bitch." He's more harsh towards ex-fans or people who are just trying to educate him in some form or fashion than he is to a literal pedo. But here's the thing, Ethan defends Israel all the time, and Israel is literally a safe haven for pedos, so it makes sense. You know, there was literally a story like last week of an Israeli official who literally was caught in an FBI police sting for people who were trying to like, that they set up, were trying to like meet children and shit like that, and an Israeli official was there and they let him go back to Israel to escape. He essentially escaped persecution and is now just gonna be there. Like this happened in like Los Angeles or something, and it barely got any coverage. Hassan and Noah Samson talked about it, and I'll link their videos to it, but like it's insane. Like you know, it's very very common for Ethan to be a fan of pedos. And again, this has resulted in a literal civil war within the H3 community because a bunch of his fucking fans now are Destiny fans because they, even though they have never, really associated with each other much until like this, Ethan was still obviously in touch with like Destiny's community in some way. Obviously through Dan Solman. If you look at like these two buttons in the back from the video, you'll see a little React Dev logo, like little sticker attached to it. React Dev is a company that is owned by Dan Saltman, who is the former co-host of Destiny's podcast. Dan Saltman, who I think it was part of the account that got deleted. He literally tried to like silence people who are going after Destiny, like people who used to be like Destiny orbiters, who were starting to leave the community after the revenge porn incident, where it was discovered that he was sharing, recordings that he would have of people to like like he would, like what I mentioned earlier with Pixie. Like during that whole incident, Dan Solomon was literally trying to like silence people within Destiny's orbit who were starting to leave by like trying to like loosely threaten them. Dan Solomon, who also has a history with P. Diddy, by the way, like he became a sponsor on Ethan's show. And there was like an incident lately. Let me see if I can look up Ethan Klein leak. Ethan Klein accidentally leaked a script of for his Hassan hit piece. The fact that he actually scripts these juvenile ranks, like this here, where he literally has like an entire script to go after Hassan. A lot of it is like shit that like he definitely got from like Destiny's community because it's shit that they bring up constantly. But yeah, now it's causing a civil war within the H3 community. This looks really bad for you, Ethan. The Destiny defense team in the comments is sick. Let's play a game, Ethan. You tell us Rose's birth year, and if you are right, we euthanize Destiny, and if you are wrong, we bust open Theodore, his son, Ethan's son. This is how fucking psychotic this community is, and how much Destiny's community has infiltrated it, to the point where Ethan Klein, calling Destiny, rightfully so, a pedo, is now resulting in people within his community now being like, yo, we should bust open your son if you're wrong about her age. And here's the thing, Ethan has nobody to blame but himself for the fact that his audience is full with these people. Because he's the one who decided to like really attach himself to like going after pro-Palestine creators, and maybe even if he didn't mean to, associating himself with people like Destiny. And like this just gets crazier and crazier. Apparently Destiny also tweeted this out. I think Peterson was right. You, Zionist and genocide supporter in the United States with loyalty to Israel first, and Hila, genocidal IDF maniac night raiding innocent Palestinians in the West Bank because she wasn't seeing enough bloodshed at her desk job writing pardons for IDF rapists, deserve all this. By the way, Destiny is literally on video giving advice to IDF soldiers, being like, hey, if you want to like put on a woman's underwear or dress, like the humiliating shit that they would do after they like destroyed a Palestinian village, he's like, if you want to do that, just don't record it or shit like that. Like he has been on like Israel fucking propaganda tours because of the propaganda he does for Israel. Also, I mean, we'll get to this later because this all like came after a big debacle involving Hassan, Ethan, and Destiny about like death threats. But like, it's funny that he is now trying to turn around and be like, oh yeah, he was a genocidal IDF maniac, especially bringing up like the raiding of the West Bank, because he was like fucking defending them and shit. So if you think that all of a sudden Destiny is like a pro-Palestine advocate now for any other reason other than he's just trying to like get some level of defense, like he's just trying to save his reputation at least somewhat, it's all fucking bullshit. Nobody should actually take him seriously on this front. Deserve all the CPS calls for the dog shit eating claims and everything else. You deserve zero empathy from anyone else on the internet when you're so quick to turn around and rely on the same snark shit that's been plaguing you for years. As as soon as you think it's beneficial. I hope your prior maid takes you for a millie in her lawsuit against you guys as well. But yeah, now this is also something that like came out recently. After Ethan Klein called out Destiny for sex crimes and pedophilia, he attacks him for every claim that other streamers were mass flagged for, from openly supporting Israel's genocide to putting a Palestine logo in his avatar because his only consistent belief is spiting enemies. Like, that's also the thing. I think he is literally doing it to just spite Ethan. And also, this was like a bigger part of the tweet that we just saw. But I'll like talk about this part as well. Almost everything in this DM is wrong. Willie Mack is running cover because he wants to get in with the boys again. 911, sorry, let me call back. My OBS wasn't recording, lol. And Ethan is trying to distance himself from me because he's too weak to deal with Hassan's attacks against him, using me as a vector, since he has literally nothing of substance to contribute to this arena. Hassan's lack of intelligence is his biggest insecurity that no amount of finasteride, hair dye, or bathtub photo shoots will compensate for. Who cares? I have no CSAM on my computer. I'm only complied with my legal obligations for my court cases. The 60 gigabyte screenshot was related to a claim that Rose person made someone whose name... He's just trying to run cover for himself. That's essentially all this fucking is. But yeah, going back to like the whole like death threat thing, so this all kind of stems from Hassan on stream. He essentially said something to the level of, it doesn't matter if it's your favorite content creator's wife or someone that you really like, if you go into if you are part of a military force that is illegally occupying an area, the people who live in that illegally occupied area have every right to defend themselves, essentially. And Ethan and Gila took that as a death threat of Hassan saying that anybody can kill Gila, no excuse, which is not what he said. That's not what he said at all. The reason why he brought up Gila in that statement is because Gila has openly talked about participating in a raid in the West Bank. And the thing that I find funny about Destiny bringing that up in his tweet is because Destiny was also on their side of it and tried to use this to essentially make a death threat to Hassan. I honestly think you could perfectly justify attacking / killing Hassan IRL for statements like this. And this isn't just in text that he said this. He said it on stream.
If this is the norm for political commentary, you could very easily justify attacking or killing Hassan. 100%. If it's going to be that every single Zionist, every single Jew, everybody in Israel, even you.
That's not what he said. He said he just said people out of the IDF, if they were to go into the West Bank to participate in raids, the people of the West Bank have every right to defend themselves against the IDF.
Your content creator's wife or whatever in the West Bank.
And that's not just Hassan saying something. That's literally international law. Like, that's it. So I just think it's funny, like, the fucking quick heel turn. And again, I think the serfs is right. I think Destiny is only really doing this because he's trying to get under Ethan's skin, not because he actually believes in any of this shit, because Destiny doesn't believe in anything except for being a fucking creep. At the end of the day, that's the only thing that he is actually consistent on, is being a fucking creep more than anything. Hello everyone, Editing Fruity here. So by the time that I'm recording this, there has been a new development in this feud between Ethan and Destiny, to the point where apparently people, I think it's people within Destiny's community, there are some, like, I think there's definitely some DDGers who are going after this. I also think it's just people who, former fans of Ethan's who still pay attention to him. But I mean, this really comes from the fact that he has been feuding with Destiny online for the most part. But something that came out of this little feud recently is apparently Ethan Klein had a profile under the username pedotroll, and I guess he kind of used it to promote his YouTube back in the day. Like, it's something that, from the looks of it, he hasn't used recently, but he definitely was using it when he first started YouTube. For some reason, he thought using the username pedotroll would be a good way to advertise his channel, I guess. And this isn't like people speculating. Ethan himself has even said that this is his fucking account. So yeah, this isn't just like speculation. He himself has even admitted to this, like after this was discovered. My friends, I have a terrible confession to make. Yeah, it is true. My 15-year-old Reddit account was identified using docs. Like, here he's trying to, like, fucking, redirect people's anger to being like, I can't believe my old fucking Reddit account is getting doxxed when his username was pedotroll. Like, people don't give a fuck about the doxing part of this. They give a fuck about the fact that you're doing, like, fucking pro-pedophilia fucking post on your goddamn Reddit account, and instead of being like, yeah, I said some terrible fucking shit in the past, like owning up to it, you're instead trying to be like, oh my god, I'm the victim here. Jesus Christ. It's fucking crazy, like, that we gotten this far, that now, like, fucking we're discovering old accounts that he used to do, where it's like, it's plainly right in your face of him just being like, yeah, I'm a bit of a pedo. It's incredibly gross, and like, he makes the argument that these are just jokes, and like, do I honestly think that Ethan was doing this in all sincerity? No, but at the same time, it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird as shit to do this shit. Like, even as a joke, he also fucking, like, there's this image right here. He also fucking used this to spread, like, fucking Israeli Nazi shit. Where, like, if you see this right here, like, this tweet that they kind of collaged into here, Ethan Klein has an old Reddit account named Pedotroll, where he agreed with a post in r/Israel which suggested that Palestinians are monkeys and Israelis are humans. Yeah, where he's just like, that's the situation we live in. Europe, they evolved, but Israel's still living with monkeys. That's like the whole joke. I was like, oh, Palestinians are monkeys. Ah ha ha ha. It's just so fucking gross. And Ethan comments under that post, this is accurate. Like, he's calling Palestine, like, Palestinians monkeys. And here's the thing, if his opinion is like actually changed from what they were back then like, whatever, like, this was just a former opinion of his, but it clearly hasn't. Like, he clearly still sees Palestinians as lesser beings. Also, this really made me sad because, like, I shouldn't be surprised anymore due to the fact that, like, he's still on the crew, but AB tried to defend this in a way by being like, oh, again, oh, this is all coming out because of Destiny. Oh, people keep, like, hacking and like doxing and shit like that. But it's like, how, like, are you just not gonna talk about the fact, like, his username was literally pedotroll, and that he was discussing, like, gross ass shit? Like, you're just excusing it. Again, even if you meant it as a joke, you're still excusing, like, pedophilia in a way. Well, also beef, like, being a part of some beef with a guy who's, like, legitimately a pedophile. Like, I don't think Ethan is, like, a legitimate pedophile, even though he has said some really weird shit, so it wouldn't surprise me necessarily. I mean, go watch the video of him talking about a Boston Marathon bombing survivor. Like, you probably know, like, the Boston bombing shit. If you've seen that video of him talking about, like, one of the victims, it's fucking terrifying. It's gross. And I mean, the clues were there with Destiny too. Like, he fucking laid it out in plain view of, like, hey, I'm a gross guy. So, like, again, I'm not saying that Ethan definitely is, but, you know, fucking, it's not something you would joke about openly. I feel like it's just something that you should probably be disgusted by yourself with if you're actively trying to do it openly, just like making these sort of jokes. I don't know, like, when I was, like, first recording this video, I brought up Anthony Jeselnik, and he jokes about that too, but again, it's all part of his act. With Ethan, it's just like a way for him to be edgy, and still with Destiny, it's the same thing there. They're not actually comedians, their shit's not funny, it's just gross. It's just there to be like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that. But like with Anthony Jeselnik, he's a comedian, he knows how to do that sort of joke where it makes you laugh, because you know that he's just messing with you. But with Destiny, he was always a bit of a creep. Like, even if he made like pedo jokes, he still, like, defended that shit openly. Like, again, this is the same guy whose community was, like, debating on making ethical CP, like, if ethical CP should be made or not. It's just fucking disgusting. And I could, like, go over the post, because some of them are really fucking gross. Some of them he brings up, like, his kid in and shit like that. It's just, but even then, I don't even think he had a kid at the time. Again, I think it was just, you know, him trying to be funny, but it just comes off extremely gross. But I don't know. I don't know where you go from here. I feel like at this point, it's just like, unless you just try to salvage this by being like, yeah, I did this, and It was insanely fucking stupid. But but he's not doing that. Like, I feel like that would be the only way where, like, for the people who are left in his audience, they would hang on. But at this point, he isn't even fucking doing that. I mean, like, again, with this post, he's trying to redirect it, being like, oh, I'm the victim of this. It's insanely fucking gross. And again, it's just coming out of the fact that he's beefing with a fucking pedophile. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's just, you know, garbage taking itself out. They're both kind of like taking each other out at this point. And again, there is some validity to this of being like, yeah, this is only really coming out because Destiny is trying to kind of wipe off the stink of what's happening to him right now. But honestly, I don't think it's gonna do favors for either guy right now. I really don't. I think, you know, if this ends up taking both of these guys out where we never had to fucking hear about them for the rest of our lives, for the rest of the time that we have on this internet, then, you know, that's probably for the best, honestly. So, you know, I'm hoping for the best outcome. I'm hoping for the best outcome where where both of these guys just disappear for good. Hello everyone, thank you for watching today's video. If you would like to see other videos like this, please leave a like and subscribe down below. If you would like to hear me talk about a lot more nerdy subjects such as anime, comic books, video games, movies, and even pro wrestling, you can check out my second channel, The Fruit Basket. And if you would like to see me play video games, I have a channel called FruitySaur Gaming where you can check out those videos there. Anyways, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you all next time.